For thousands of years, humanity has inched its way toward greater spiritual maturity. Most human beings have been caught in the dense karmic energies of the earth plane, lifetime after lifetime, and have made very slow progress. Only a few lone individuals from time to time have reached what's been called enlightenment or liberation from suffering. Although some of these individuals have stepped forward, bringing significant spiritual teachings to the planet, these teachings have inevitably been watered down into what have become religions, a process which has in many ways distorted and diluted the teachings. A growing number of individuals in recent years have begun a conscious process of awakening. This has been significant in beginning to shift the consciousness of the planet, yet, still these numbers have been relatively small, considering the billions of people now alive on the earth. A great shift toward spiritual awakening. However, a huge change is now underway, according to many visionaries, teachers, and indigenous elders. They're saying that for the first time ever on the earth, something monumental is shifting in the human experience as a whole, a shift of consciousness toward greater spiritual awakening. Indeed, some are saying a new species of human being is emerging, and a new Earth is being born. This can be hard to believe if we simply focus on what's happening on the mainstream news, the same tired, negative scenarios that have always plagued the human race continue to play out over and over again. And yet, there is something else happening, as well, if you look closely. The outer shift. Read alternative and international news sources and you can see clearly, for example, that unprecedented disclosure of corruption, greed, and exploitation is occurring within a wide range of institutions in society. In the last year, literally hundreds of top officials in financial institutions and governments the world over have been resigning, mysteriously disappearing, getting fired, being fined or taken to court. Meanwhile, the internet is empowering and uniting people across the globe like never before in history. Millions are experiencing a sense of oneness, and the power of this unification. There's a new kind of joy and sense of jubilant freedom that people around the world are beginning to express. At the same time, communities everywhere are creating positive changes in their local areas, overturning old corrupt systems that no longer work. Women across the world are asserting their rights like never before in history. And science is discovering cheap, clean energy, as well as ways to feed everyone in the world and create drinking water from the ocean. The in-between times. It's clear that old societal structures and paradigms based on greed, competition, and patriarchal ideals are at long last collapsing, while new structures and paradigms based on justice, love, and equality are rising in their place. But what we are experiencing at this point is what has been called the in-between times, times of chaos, confusion, and rapid, intense changes, while one age dies and another is born. These tumultuous times will likely continue for a while, as the new positive energies interact with the old energies on their way out. But eventually a new Earth will inevitably emerge out of the chaos. What an exciting time to be alive. The inner shift. The same intense shifts happening in the world are also showing up in many of our personal lives. At times, we're being shaken to our core, as we experience old negative patterns arising with a vengeance, finally demanding resolution. Loss assails us on many levels, in our relationships, our home life, our work. Old identities are disintegrating, and once comfortable situations are becoming unbearable. We're stepping into unknown territory where nothing is predictable or certain. It's disorienting and at times downright scary. And yet, along with all this confusion and loss, many of us are also experiencing profound spiritual awakenings like never before. Deep joy arises within us at the strangest times. Synchronicity abounds in our lives. An exquisite and all-embracing love is blossoming in our hearts for all of life. At times, profound peace steals over us for no apparent reason. We feel the presence of a magnificent divine self arising within us, gently nudging the ego aside. We know we're witnessing something new and ever so precious being born within us. Dimensional shift. There are some people who experience the shift as something so monumental that it feels like a dimensional shift, one the Earth and all its inhabitants are making from the third dimension into the fifth dimension. There's no stopping it. Whatever we may call it or whatever paradigm we may hold it in, if we tune in, it's indisputable that something big is happening. Something new, something that has never before in history happened. Some people are feeling it now, others will eventually feel it. But there's no stopping it. The sooner we can get on board and see it happening in our lives and align with the new energies coming in, the easier it's going to be to make the shift.